Back in 2002, Casey Anderson, Amy Testa, and I, John Peterson, had a dream to take this 3-acre parcel at I-90 exit 319, bordered by an interstate highway on one side and a busy railroad on the other, and turn it into a sanctuary for grizzly bears that were going to be killed because they could not live in the wild for many reasons. We would give these bears a home and let them educate the public about wild grizzly bear conservation and safety. Over the years, we've received lots of recognition for our work. In 2006, a story hosted by Bryant Gumbel was broadcast in prime time across the USA on Thanksgiving.
It's about some very thankful grizzly bears.
And in 2010, this feature, hosted by Sir Roger Moore, was broadcast around the world.
The fact is that oftentimes a little can do a lot. These are the mountains of Montana where we found a special story of generosity and kindness. Here some people took it upon themselves to help a threatened species, the grizzly, one bear at a time. Meet grizzly bear expert Casey Anderson.
Ever since I can remember, it was always my dream to work with wildlife, and now that dream's becoming a reality. This is Brutus. He's a 4-year-old grizzly bear. He's a bear that we rescued from a facility that breeds bears to sell to other zoos, and if they don't sell, they put them down. And we didn't want that to happen to Brutus. We felt that we could give grizzly bears like Brutus in situations like that a better home.
On Thanksgiving 3 years ago, Anderson received a call from the USDA Wild Animal Division. 1,000 miles away in Louisiana, 2 grizzlies were in an inhumane situation and were about to be euthanized if something was not quickly done to give them a proper home. Anderson decided he had to do what he could.
In fact, we'll get a crew together immediately and start our way down there. Like I said, it'll take us about 24 hours.
When he and his team arrived in Louisiana, they found Sheena and Christy, 2 grizzly bears that had spent all of their 18 years locked in horribly cramped 4 by 7-foot cages. Anderson and team carefully coaxed the 2 bears into their special trailer. Now the bears were ready for the journey to Montana. But Anderson was well aware that bears born in captivity can never be released into the wild. Without the almost 2 years of training wild cubs receive from their mothers, they could not survive. And bears born in captivity lose their natural fear of humans, a death sentence in the wild. That's when Anderson and his partners came up with the idea of the Montana Grizzly Encounter, where the public could come and learn about grizzly bears as they watched the majestic animals up close in a spacious, natural mountain setting. The perfect plot of land was secured on top of Bozeman Pass. The idea immediately received great support from the community. People pitched in and came together, and the huge task was underway. Now the dream has become a reality. Sheena, Christy, and another rescued bear, Brutus, have the best and most natural home any captive grizzly bear could want. Each year, travelers on the I-90 stop at the Grizzly Encounter for a close-up look at the bears. At the same time, they learn about safety in grizzly country. And most important of all, thousands of school children come free of charge and learn what we need to do to preserve the species for future generations in the wild.
For the last 12 years, Montana Grizzly Encounter has provided a caring home for rescued bears that can live nowhere else. More than 100,000 people have come to watch and enjoy learning from them. We feel that Montana Grizzly Encounter has provided a real benefit for grizzly bears and the community. But in July of 2016, the zoning enforcement agent of the Gallatin County Department of Planning and Community Development made a determination that we should not have some of the structures that are currently at Montana Grizzly Encounter. One is the ticket and gift shop, which we installed when our original one became too small for the demand. Also, the entrance signs, which replaced the hanging entrance sign when it became unsafe. Our snack shack, which we installed when people asked for it. Our Casey's Cabin gift area. Our goat shed, which houses pet goats. Even a tiny roof over the entrance to our caretaker's home that keeps the rain out was marked as not allowed. And even though in 2003 we built one wall of our restaurant and visitor center, including openings for glass viewing areas, and installed a massive public septic system to accommodate it, the zoning enforcement agent determined that we were not allowed to finish construction on it. But the worst thing of all is our second bear den that provides nighttime housing for 2 of our bears. It's only visible from within the property or from an airplane, but it's essential in the permit allowing us to keep these 2 bears. If they have no den, they would have to be euthanized, according to state law. Does it make any sense to lose the lives of 2 beautiful grizzly bears just so people flying over it don't see it? My partners and I have dedicated the last 12 years of our lives for this project. We began construction in 2002 according to the engineering plan designed by Thomas Dean and Hoskins, and construction to that design has been ongoing ever since. We've been operating continuously as a commercial business on the property since 2002. We have never used any public funds. The zoning enforcement agent's determination is in direct contradiction to the zoning regulations themselves. The regulations state, to avoid undue hardship, nothing in these regulations shall be deemed to require a change in the construction or designated use of any structure on which actual construction was lawfully begun prior to the effective date of adoption or amendment to these regulations. It would create great hardship and harm to myself and my partners if this determination was allowed to stand as is. These structures are what allow us to continue as a business and a way to provide a home for the bears and a service to the community. If they have to be removed, in all likelihood, we will no longer be able to continue in business. And that could mean an end to the lives of all 5 of our bears. All we ask is that we be allowed to operate this commercial enterprise as it was intended according to the laws in place in 2002 and finish our construction as finances become available. On behalf of myself, my 2 partners, and our 5 grizzly bears, Brutus, Sheena, Jake, Maggie, and Bella, we would like very much to thank the communities of Bozeman, Livingston, and Gallatin and Park counties for their continued support over the last 12 years.